Hey everybody, it's Romeo Heatherly here. So one of the most common questions I get asked all the time, how do I make my insurance cheaper? When is my insurance going down? Why is the rate's not changing? So I think I'm going to do a little bit of an education on the things that go into making your insurance rates what they are. So what I found, the number one to me determiner of your rate is credit. Most people have no idea that insurance companies even use credit, but we do. So the better your credit, automatically, the better rate you're going to get. Now, that can be counteracted. If you have a horrible driving record and a bunch of accidents, then it's not going to matter that you have great credit. But it is the one thing. So companies have like tiers that you come in. So you may qualify to come in at certain tiers. Just think of on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst rate, 10 being their best rate. And they've got all these things that can determine what's going to be that best rate. So when you come into the thing, anybody under, say, a 600, and this is just an arbitrary number I'm throwing out there. It's not a deadline that every company uses 600. They don't. But say you're under that score, all these companies automatically say, okay, they don't qualify for any of our great things. They're going to be a 3 or under on the tier scale. Doesn't matter what else they've got, if they've got the cleanest driving record in the world or not. So that's how you're going to be stuck on that one. So if you ever want to know how do you get better rates, get better credit. That's the number one thing. Accidents are obviously, and tickets are a huge determiner with the points that they add on. But every company has different rates based on different things. So you may be really good with this one company that's in Hickory, but your buddy who has the same insurance score, same everything, same car as you, another company may be better for them in Charlotte because that's where they live and their loss experiences are different. So every company has different rates based on where you live. If this company's had a bunch of losses over in this county, they're going to raise the rates on that zip code specifically. Same goes with cars. So if you've got a Ford Mustang GT, this company over here may have had great time with these because they had a bunch of guys who never drove them fast, and so they have good rates on them. Whereas this company over here may have had a bunch of kids who wrecked them or got speeding tickets with them, and they've had bad experience with those, so they charge higher. So every company rates every single car differently. That's why it always helps to have somebody shop you, because they can find which company likes you based on where you live, based on what car you drive, based on your credit, based on the points you've got, based on your prior liability limits. A lot of people don't know that your prior liability limits determine what kind of rate you're going to get. So there's a lot of people out there who are like, man, I just want the cheapest I can get, the state minimum limits. Well, did you know that if you do that and you get the state minimum limits, you actually, in the long run, will pay more for insurance? And the reason being is that gives you a lower insurance score, which in turn gives you higher rates for having a lower insurance score. So you literally could get better rates by having higher limits. I was quoting a girl one time who had just gotten married, and I plugged into the computer her prior liability limits of 100, 300. So when I went to put it in and her husband's in, instead it pulled her husband's past insurance who had 51,000, 100,000, and the rate literally went up $200 for the year just because of the prior liability limits. So that's one of the things people have no idea that causes it. So a lot of times I recommend having the higher liability limits. You might pay a little bit more up front, but in the long run, you'll actually have better rates because of it, and you'll be better protected on it. Other things that could affect your rates with companies. Is it better to bundle? Sometimes yes, not always. Companies don't like for us to split policies, but I do it partially because I work in my customer's best interest. So if Progressive's got the best auto rate, but Heritage Insurance has the best home rate, that's how I'm going to split the policy up. And if it saves you the most money that way, that's how I'm going to do it. Trying to think. Guys, that's just a couple quick buffers. Everybody always wants to ask me that question, so I figured I'd give you a little tutorial to help out. Thank you. Have a good day.